She's she's been known to steal food. It's a bit of a heavyweight camp, this. I'll have to make 2 trips. I've got my Polish teepee, which I modified into a hot tent shelter by adding a skirt and a stove jack to it. I've got all old cheap equipment. My sleeping bag is an old 58 pattern army surplus sleeping bag. I've got my dog with me, Carmen. We've had her almost exactly 2 years now. She's really settled in fine, and she's going to come out for a birthday treat. I bought her a steak. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to have a really nice camp. It's a lovely day, but it's set to get colder, and they say we've got rain heading our way, so it should be altogether a very nice camp. I hope you stick around. Had to walk in twice. Managed to get the car quite close, about half a mile away. I had to carry 2 lots of kit in because I've got a lot of food, heavyweight camping equipment. It's old ex-army sort of stuff, very heavy, and I don't mind that because with the dog, you know, if she runs over it, etc., it's not a problem to me, and it just keeps the stress levels low. So I don't mind at all what she does to this camping equipment because it is heavy duty stuff. But I got very hot wearing this buffalo jacket, so this is going to come off. I can cool down, but it is going to turn cold and it is going to turn wet throughout the night, so I'll definitely be needing that in the morning. Before I do anything, I'm going to transfer all the food into this bag here because a certain lady has a very inquisitive nature, and she's been known to steal food, haven't you? You're a thief, aren't you? So I'm going to put this. You've heard of bear bags. Well, this is dog bag. This is going up to a tree where she can't get to it. Some of you old soldiers out there, you'll know about this sleeping bag. Well, this is what I brought out. So it's supposed to be a winter or Arctic bag. But I'll tell you what, I've used it in cold conditions, and I haven't been warm with it. But it's a good sleeping bag for this time of year when it's not going to get sort of down to zero. I think we're looking at going down to about 6 or 7 degrees C above freezing tonight, so it's plenty good enough for that. I think it's probably designed to be used in conjunction with something else, then perhaps it would sort of work as an Arctic rated bag. But anyway, I'll get that in there now, and my dog can come and lie on it to keep her warm. There's Carmen all tied up, keep her under control in here, because there are pheasants and deer and hares in the locality. I found my wood source. This is a bit of dry dead standing in the middle, and this time of the year everything's getting damp and the wood on the ground is all full of moisture, so I'll harvest that piece in the middle, take it back to camp and process it for the stove. So this one piece of wood, that'll do me for all my camping needs, and I'll probably have enough left over for another camp at some point, so I'll cut it into shorter pieces when I get back to camp, and then process it and stack some of it away under a tree for next time. But obviously I'll use what I'm going to use tonight. Let's put the saw away. Silky big boy, and a pouch made for me by Mac Tightwad. Thanks Mac, that's a brilliant pouch. Fits perfect. Quite dark in here. That's the thing about the canvas tent. It is it's darker than a normal tent. Right, now time to light the stove and get some food cooking. I managed to get some twigs. I thought I'd put a bit of candle wax. I have got some pre-soaked, but I couldn't find them, so I always carry a candle, always got a candle with me. So I can start it with that. And I'll start it with twigs. Well, I finally turn that one down a little bit. I thought I'd bring out the two lamps tonight because it's going to be a long night, and these are cheap to run. 2 lights gives me twice as much illumination. Finally managed to get everything set up. I've got the stove running, ticking over lovely, keeping me lovely and warm. It is getting chilly outside now. Managed to get the dog settled down. This is only her second camp with me, so she was a bit wary about going into the tent. She didn't want to go in. Anyway, she seems to have settled down now on the bed. So I'm going to get the food cooking. And tonight I've got steak. I'm going to cook Carmen a steak for her supper, because this is really celebrating 2 years. She's been with us for 2 years now. So I think she's going to enjoy this camp when she realises what she's going to get. The stove's roaring nicely. I've browned the meat and I'm going to add that now to the billy can. In it all goes. Some on the floor. The dog will find that. And then give it a stir. Right, a pot of food there. Look. We've got in there. We've got mushrooms, Brussels sprouts, leek, and a stock cube. That's now. Put the lid on that and let it do its thing. I'll stick it to the back. Now the stove's glowing red at the back there, look. Let's get Carmen's steak on the go now. The steak for the dog for her 2nd anniversary with us. I wonder what she'll make of that. So 2 ranch steaks, I'm not sure what they are. I got them from the co-op. But I know she'll love one. I think I'll have the other one. she'll have some of my stew and I'll have some of her steak. This is Carmen's steak I've cooked for her. I let it cool down a little bit, but I'm going to cut it up into pieces. It's a bit... I think she said she wanted it raw, but she'll get it as it comes. I know she'll eat that. It's not too bad actually. She'll enjoy that. There she is, look. Happy birthday, Carmen. Good girl. I think she's enjoying that. Two years we've had her now. She turned out to be a wonderful dog, absolutely wonderful. Good girl. Even licking the plate clean. Pleased to say, Carmen really enjoyed her food. Licked the plate clean. That's where it was, all licked clean. Good dog. Got myself a beer, so I'm going to sit back now and enjoy a proper job. I've had to shut one of the. I had two of the doors open on the teepee, but I closed one of them up because it was getting chilly. I've had to put another log on the fire as well. So yeah, winter is just around the corner. Let's get a beer. Cheers. Oh, very nice. Very hoppy. As you can see, the dog's settled down. You might be able to hear pops and bangs in the background. It's that time of the year, the fireworks are going off. Carmen's a little bit, yeah, she's a bit scared of the fireworks. For some reason, last year she was fine. This year she's decided that she wants to be scared of them. But having said that, she's listening, but she's not too afraid of them at the moment. I've got a lead on. I've kept a lead on in case she decides to get scared and run away, so I can control her. But I think she'll be alright. You'll be alright, eh? You good girl? Hmm? Yeah. She's a lovely dog. If I haven't already told you, well, many of you on the channel will know, but Carmen is a rescue dog. I've got another dog at home called Zeta, and Zeta is full on crazy hunting dog, and we can't, you know, she's got to be walked on the lead. I couldn't bring her into the woods because she would just be off. Carmen, on the other hand, always stays close. Whew, flipping heck, it's got really hot on here. All of a sudden the stove's just kicked off again. I put more wood in it, it's just ramped itself up. But whilst I'm thinking about it, I want to talk to you about paraffin lamps, hurricane lamps. These are cold blast lamps. Oh, it's awkward. Right, it's so hot in here. This one I've had for 50 plus years. I've got to open the door. Hold on a sec. The heat's just ramped up. This is a 275, and I don't know if you can tell a difference in the size, but this is a 276 on my right. 275, 276. They are slightly different. The 275, this one here, has a slightly smaller fuel reservoir, but it still burned for many hours, and I restored it not long ago. Basically I buffed it all down and took all the rust off of it and primed it and painted it, but I fitted a Chinese wick. I went onto Amazon and I got a replacement wick. It turns out it was a Chinese one, and the Chinese wicks, they're not very good, to be honest. They make good tents, but they don't make good wicks. So anyway, I'm going to have to search for a new fuel hand wick for this lamp. You can see the flame is rather spread sort of quite wide, and it's uneven. Whereas the 276, let's just put that down safely first. The 276 has a lovely flame shape, which is the way it should be. You can adjust them. You don't want them too high, otherwise they smoke. But what I've learned about running these lamps is that you get different grades of paraffin. Over in the UK we call it paraffin, in dear old England. Over in the States they call it kerosene. There's different grades, and if you get the cheaper grades, it leaves an unpleasant odour smell. But I'm running this on a grade of fuel, and then there's Bartolene available over in the UK. It's clear, right, it's a slightly yellow tinge to it, and I think it's 0.05% sulphur content, and once they've warmed up, no unpleasant smell whatsoever. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with Bartolene paraffin. And whilst I'm thinking about it as well, and the tongue has been adequately loosened by the lovely warmth from the wood burner and the bottle of ale, I often get asked questions about my allotment, about my power motor, but oddly enough not about any long distance walking. So whilst I'm thinking about it, I'll tell you, I no longer have an allotment, for the simple reason being that I was getting a lot of theft, a lot of my produce was being taken, a lot of hard work as well, and it took a lot of time. So the allotment's gone. The power motor, I no longer fly the power motor. I had 160 flights, 2 years flying power motor, enjoyed it a great deal, but I decided that it was time to retire from the power motor, and it's linked also into why I haven't been doing much in the way of long distance hiking recently. I think, oh, isn't that beautiful? That's an owl. Fireworks in the background. Oh, I love to listen to the owls in the wood. It's so wonderful. Shame about the fireworks. Right, yeah, I've done no long distance hikes either. The reason being why is because I have a dodgy right hip. Beautiful owl. The pain in my hip started about 3 years ago. It's very low level. I had an x-ray a couple of weeks ago, and there is wear and tear in my right hip, and as a result of that I can't walk. The owl. I can't walk long distances without a lot of discomfort now. Listen to the owl. I am blessed. Okay, I've got a dodgy hip, but I'm still blessed. I've got a lovely dog. I've got a lovely warm tent. I am so fortunate, and that's the way you got to look at life. You got to look at your life from the perspective of the positive and not the negative. I can still walk, but it does bring on a fair bit of discomfort. Fortunately for me, the cycling is low impact, and I guess it's a sort of a circular motion on the hip joint, and I don't get any discomfort from cycling. But I've only got to walk 3 or 4 miles, and I know about it. So I've had the x-ray, and I am 60 years of age. Things are beginning to wear out. Age is catching up with me. There's absolutely nothing I can do with it. It's natural, it's part of nature, you've got to go with the flow. And you can fight it if you want, but you won't get nowhere. So I'm just fortunate I can still remain active, and I can still ride my bike. But probably at some point down the line I'm probably going to need a hip replacement, but when that'll be I don't know. Over the years I've done a lot of walking. I've walked the South Downs Way, I've walked the Ridge Way 4 or 5 times. I've walked the Wainwright coast to coast. I've done the West Highland Way, bits of the Cotswold Way. I've walked, all carrying heavy burdens, heavy packs. So another reason why you've really got to get your pack light. I wouldn't say my hiking days are up, but I'm just getting a lot more pleasure out of riding a bicycle, to be honest with you, than I am carrying a pack on my back at the moment. Yeah. Anyway, my stew is almost ready. The stew is in there, and I'm about to tuck into that. So it's had a chance to sort of cool down a little bit. Still a bit warm. Yeah, it's lovely. The beef is nice and tender. No doubt I'll give a little bit, or I'll save a little bit for Carmen when it's cooled down a bit more. But yeah, I'm going to tuck into this now and enjoy sitting here in the warmth. It's got rather cold out there, so I've closed the entrance to the teepee down now. But the heat, it builds up rather quickly. I don't know if it's the canvas, but I'd say it's slightly warmer maybe than the One Tigris iron wall tent that I've got, which is my other hot tent. So this, if I didn't say already, this was a Polish teepee which I've added the skirt round. and it gives it a hell of a lot more room.
Steel's a bit easier to work with if you're going to modify it like I have, because I've welded some extra stuff to this, and to do that I had to put the
MCQ
entire
Mike
cast iron pan in an oven and heat it up to about
doing
200
sort of outdoorsy
degrees C,
videos again
and
now.
add weld on it, and then put it back in the oven, turn the oven off, and let it all cool down over a day or so.
Well, we had a little bit of rain, but nothing much really. It's now 10:30 at night. I'm gonna turn in. It'd be nice to get a bit more rain. Apparently the worst of it's coming in any time now, from now till 2 o'clock in the morning. So if I'm awake and I hear it, I'll try and record it. But for now, I'm going to bed. That's one. Good morning everybody. It is now 6:25. It's still dark out, and I can just see a glimmer of light from the doorway. But I'm having lazy man's coffee this morning. So lazy man's coffee basically is coffee on a mess stove. It's just going to be easy. I don't fancy lighting the stove, and then that's got to then cool down before I can pack it away, so this is just going to be a lot more convenient. Yeah, it's bloomed already. There you go. Trangia triangle and GSI kettle. Let's give it a stir. Oh, we got hot coffee. God, that is hot. It's amazing actually how warm it's got in here, just with the meths burner running. Goes without saying, if you're going to run a stove or cooking appliances or paraffin lamps in a confined space like a tent, then you want adequate ventilation. You want adequate ventilation, and probably also you want a CO2, a carbon monoxide detector. I haven't got a carbon monoxide detector, but what I have got is a whacking great gap under a door, and it's bringing in loads and loads of draft and fresh air, so I know I'll be okay. But you do these things at your own risk, of course.
Lovely.
The base of these stoves is very thin. It's only very thin titanium. So I made a stainless steel plate. It adds a little bit of weight, but it's only thin as well. So I thought, well, the hot coals will lie against that. So in time that might burn through, but it will protect the stove. So it's a bit of a sacrificial false bottom. That sounds a bit rude. What you got? Have you got a stick? Oh, good girl. It's going to be a beautiful morning. It's going to be a beautiful morning. Yeah. Good boy. Well, that's it. Camp is over, and I've left no trace. I've gone even further than that. I've obliterated every trace. Well, if you've got real good eyes, you'd still know that I was there. I'm going to be trying to do at least one hot tent camp a month, if not two, provided I got access to these woodlands, which I might not always have throughout the shooting season, because they are used as game preserves. It's a game covert, so I might not be able to always get into this woodland at certain times of the year, but provided I can, I'm going to be doing at least one or two hot tent camps a month in here and maybe elsewhere as well. And then I've got other camping videos, cycling and camping and stealth camping, etc. lined up, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already subscribed, then give us a subscribe to the channel if you want. It's free. Give us a thumbs up if you have enjoyed the video, And from myself and Carmen, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.